Hello. So I think we can get started with the presentation. There is big crowd outside, but hopefully they will join us today. I have a lot of information to share with you today, and basically, thank you for coming. And today we're going to talk about technologies powered web and technologies that are currently in the market. In the Drupal community, we're not like widely using them, but this is the session about the future markets and future technologies that we can actually use. My name is Schedrov. I'm CEO of 5jars. We have booth over there with the fancy stickers. My contact information if you'd like to contact me, if you will have any questions. Basically, 5jars is a digital agency. We're using Drupal as a core service, but we are building digital infrastructure around that, like digital screens, mobile applications, voice assistants that we have on the stand. And we are looking for developers. We are fully distributed. If you're interested, go ahead and check out our jobs. And also we have giveaway Google Home Mini at our booth. Just fill out the form, and at the closing session we will figure out who is the winner. But let's get started. So initially I would like to go through the kind of the history of the web, right? Before the internet was invented. 1971, the first ever email has been sent. And guess what was next? Few years later, the first ever spam email has been sent. Then World Wide Web appeared. Basically, that's when the industry where we work right now appeared and has been created. The World Wide Web has been invented. Then first website has been built. Then first website has been built like this. So that was actually the first website. Pretty simplistic, right? The designers will like it because it's so simple in terms of the implementation, and developers will like it. First website of Apple. It looks terrific. So that's great with fancy backgrounds. Then World Wide Web became free. Then first primitive search engine has been created. That was W3 catalog. So that was actually the initial point of big search engines. Then glorious 1994. That was the year where Friends series has been invented. We can barely see the background, but basically then big company steps in like Yahoo. First ever commerce transaction has been made over web. First ever banner has been sold, and we all like banners right now, right? When we don't like AdBlog. Then big player steps in. We have Amazon. First ever item sold on eBay, so that was kind of the start of e-commerce era. Then Google steps in. That was the early version of the Google search. Again, terrific green light. I really enjoyed that green color. Then big monsters like Wikipedia. First ever social network has been created, like Friendster, which was a prototype of the Facebook. Do you remember that tool? Dreamweaver. Whoever used that tool? Oh, I'm not alone. Then Notepad++ in Windows. That was terrific tool for writing code. Then Facebook steps in. Then you remember this? Do you remember the name of that guy? His name Anton Popov, and he's a genius, because that's the year where I stepped into the PHP world and web development. He is terrific. His suite is awesome. So I love that guy. Then Twitter. Then first version of YouTube. The early version of YouTube was like this. No dark mode, no likes, no like only text, just usual website. Like we have text, we have news, banners, blah, 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 and listings. iPhone. So the first ever smartphone with the touch screens, these phones completely changed the way how we build the web, because then we started making websites more flexible. Then we started making websites like accessible for swipes, touches, and touch screens, and all those things. Then Instagram appeared. But right now, what we have right now? Right now we can play Quake game in the browser, right? 10 years ago, I even cannot think about something like that. Right now, browsers support games. You can play game, pretty popular game on iPhone. That's terrific. We have digital era, right? We have a lot of different microservices. We have cloud storage. We have like AWC, cheap storage, virtualization, containers, microservices, like all those fancy things. And we have big conferences like we have today, right? It's not today it's not about four nerds who are talking about the code. It's about the people. It's about huge conferences like DrupalCamp, DrupalCon. It's not about like four nerds drinking beer and talking about code and Linux and a lot of different things. But today I don't want to be like Captain Obvious, right? Because I'm pretty sure you know all of these things, including the genius Anton Popov. Today I'm going to talk about the future, like what we will have in the future, which markets might bring a lot of money in terms of the services, and we should actually choose one use case and then go ahead with the implementation. So, and basically the next part will be about artificial intelligence. So we have, again, plenty of technologies. We have machine learning, we have deep learning, we have like visual analysis, we have natural language processing and all those fancy things. But first of all, I would like to show you this. So that's kind of the basic architecture of modern technologies. So we have the computer science, which is like part of the science, that's the category of the science. Then, as a part of computer science, we have the AI, artificial intelligence. And then below that, we have machine learning, we have robotics, computer vision, virtual reality, augmented reality. So basically, when we say augmented reality, we say nothing. We say, like, augmented reality consists of so many things, so it will take like 10 or 20 hours just to cover all of them. So today I will cover the most obvious and the closest ones to nowadays. So, and there is a video and slides will be available. I definitely recommend you to check out the video in regards to that architecture. So, but getting back to where we are right now, right? There is a good presentation in regards to like where we are right now. So basically, there are 5 levels of using the AI, artificial intelligence, and modern technologies, and we can put companies and ourselves into different levels. So the first level, kind of the early adoption of the AI. That's when we have the interest to the technology, but we are not actually using it. We hear a lot of about these technologies from the news, from colleagues, from different conferences, but we haven't used it yet, and there is a risk about overhyping. So this next level, when we already start and we are doing experiments with those technologies. Example, we have the machine learning, and we are trying to build some prototypes, MVPs, and small things. So level number 3, basically when we try to apply small, when we're trying to cover small features in the production, right? We're applying machine learning, virtual reality, in order to solve the problem. Then next level, that's the level when we actually solve a lot of problems and the new technologies became our usual life. And the next level, that's when the technologies became our DNA. It means that it's just usual thing like email right now, right? We don't care about emails. They are here for quite a long time. Same will be with the new technologies like machine learning 10 years ago. That will be just part of DNA of our companies, of our development, and all those things. But right now, it doesn't matter where you are on these stages. It's really important to choose one use case and learn something and try to do that and finally get to the production level. In our company, we are going through only one technology, and given that we have Google Home Mini, so we are exploring right now the voice assistants. Later on, we will explore other things. But where actually all these technologies might be used? First of all, we can differentiate hot dog or not hot dog. No, okay. No one watched the Silicon Valley series. So the first technology is the chatbots. So chatbots right now are everywhere. Every company is trying to create a chatbot in Telegram and Facebook Messenger when you have some kind of interaction with the chat, with the bot, asking questions, then have some responses back. So here is an example, and I took that from Dries' keynote. I don't remember from which DrupalCon, but basically a company has been created a chatbot for a Louvre museum. And basically You can ask some questions in the chatbot. Then chatbot will ask your preferences and will guide you through some exhibitions based on your interest or your topics. You can say that I like all the masters paintings. Then the chatbot will do some calculation and respond you back with some responses, and then basically through that chat you train the chatbot to return more predictable and better results. So, but behind that we have basically it's not the sequence of if else or like switch case. It's behind that we have the natural language processing, aka NLP, or it might be also called natural language understanding, which basically gets sentences and then do analysis on different things. So the first type of analysis, that the sentiment analysis, that's when we are trying to identify, is it positive, is it negative, or is it natural, just to make further decisions. As example, I'm angry because Amazon haven't delivered something to me, and I can write very negative message. So that's the sentiment analysis. Next type of analysis, that's the entity analysis. Here's example. 5jars is located in Kyiv, was founded in October by Alex Iddenbitry. So I can write that to chatbot, and the task of the chatbot will be to figure out what we have in this sentence. Example, 5jars, that's organization, and we can say that with a confidence of 0.90. Kyiv, that's location. October, that's date, 100% sure, and Alex and Dmitry, persons, which is good. The next one of analysis, that the topic segmentation. So we may apply this to same example. We have some text, and within text we may have different we may have different things in text. But the task of the chatbot will be to identify the topic for that sentence. As example, Apple is the corporate headquarters of Apple Incorporated, located in Cupertino, and blah blah blah. Basically, based on this, we can say it's not the news, right? We are not sure that that's news, but chatbot can say that it's about technology, it's about Apple, it's about development. Not sure. So next is the language identification. So I'm pretty sure you understand what I'm talking about. So we have to figure out which language is it. On English, we have pineapple. On any other languages, that's the ananas. So chatbot should really figure out which language we are using. So in terms of tools that I would recommend to start you with, we have Google Natural Language, which is a pretty massive service in order to use their APIs and send some text, and they will return you back some results based on your text. Amazon Comprehend, same service as Google services. DataMuse and TextRazor, they are smaller, but definitely recommend you to take a look. We're at DrupalCamp, so open source library, which is called RASA. So that's pretty powerful open source machine learning tool for chatbots and voice bots. And basically, you can see on the screenshot that based on the conversation, it will suggest to make next best action. And that's one of the examples. Basically, we can feed the framework, train it, and then return more predictable results based on this. Definitely take a look if you will use voice assistants or chatbots. Next big thing, that the augmented reality. So many of us have been using it for quite a while in terms of gaming and all those fancy things. But basically, what's augmented reality? So we have the smartphone or any other type of device. We have real world, and with augmented reality, we apply digital elements to the environment that we see. So as example, we see the car, we get our smartphone, we point it to the car, and we can see the price, many different things. So, but there are a few different AR types. So there is market-based AR, markerless AR, project-based, projection-based outlining, superimposition. If you will be interested, I will not go through each of them, but basically they are different in terms of the level of complexity. The simplest one is marker-based. It just uses static image and places something there. The next one also tracks the location, like when you move your phone, it will track your location. Projection-based and outlining, it will create a 3D module of superimposition-based AR will make all those things: 3D model, location, geoposition, like we'll use accelerometer and all those things. So here is an example of augmented reality. We were in Silicon Valley 1 year ago, Apple Park, Infinite Loop 1. Basically, we see the table with the steel, and there is nothing. That through iPod we can see the augmented reality, and we even can interact with it. So we can put we can swipe on something, or touch the screen, and we can see the different things. So that's an example of augmented reality. And basically, there is a good example where it might be applied even right now.
Navigating through a large
there is a video from Acquia that I would like to show
all the items on your list isn't any fun. Wouldn't it be great to have a shopping route which guides you to your items? What if you could learn more about an item simply by looking at it? Luckily, Alex uses the Freshland Market app on her smartphone. As Alex walks up to Freshland Market, the app pops up a notification. She taps it and a map of the store appears, showing where all of the items on her list are located. With the map as a guide, Alex walks over and grabs a bag of potato chips. When she looks at it with her smartphone, the app recognizes it and displays useful information, like its price and user ratings. Alex checks the potato chips off her list in the app. Next is pasta sauce. Unfortunately, she's not sure which one she wants. With the help of the user reviews and ratings the app superimposes on top of the camera view, she can make an informed decision. This one looks perfect. Last up, cereal. Alex recently chose to avoid processed sugars and already configured the app to tell her if anything contains them. The app tells her that her favorite, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, isn't a good fit. Honey Nut Cheerios also have processed sugars. Finally, Alex checks a box of Rice Krispies cereal and bingo, low processed sugars. Suddenly, Alex sees a new notification suggesting that it might be time to buy milk to go with her cereal based on her purchase history. Good catch. The app updates the shopping route and redirects her to the dairy section.
So I think you've got the idea, right? So we have something in the real world, we go through that. Basically, that project has been built on Drupal. If you would like to know more, visit Acquia Labs. Another example, overhyping example, Pokemon Go, right? We have the real life, we have the smartphone, and we are chasing different Pokemons. Back in 2015, not quite sure if you know, game Ingress. So it was, oh yeah, Ingress fans. So 4 years ago, augmented reality has been in that game. So I remember with some guys from Drupal community. So basically that's game where you defeat some very important things in your city, in the real city. As example, we can go to the motherland right now with that game and have a fight with the other clan or group of people over the smartphone. And that was fun. One example that I use right now, that's application in order to choose the best wine in the market. So that's called Vivino. Basically, you go to the market, you make a picture of the wine, and you will get feedback, price, some other things. It's like Google reviews, but for wine. And that's part of augmented reality, I would say. But from augmented reality, I would like to get you to the virtual reality, which is pretty similar in sounds. So, and next slide, I'm really shy because of that slide, because that's me. That's me in Minneapolis in YMCA Greater Twin Cities, and basically that's their gym. So that's just usual gym. They have equipment and they have that screen, and I have the headset on my head. Basically, I'm trying in that environment to go through the circles which are on the screens, and you can see them. It's pretty harsh workout. It looks pretty awkward, but it's a good example how new technologies might be applied in the real life. So they basically have the smartphone, which is placed on the headset. They have computer and they have screen. And I see same picture in the virtual reality as we see on the screens. So another good example from Acquia, they built AR for the Massachusetts University in order to, for students who would like to apply to that university, can kind of have a walk around the university, because in the United States it's pretty different. So you choose the universities, there are a variety of universities, so they have to do some marketing for universities. So let's take a look at
for many high schoolers, researching and choosing the right university can be stressful and leave them with more questions than answers. But it doesn't have to be that way. Jordan knows he wants to go to school in the Northeast, but he's not sure where exactly. A school in Boston named Massachusetts State University catches his eye. On Mass State's homepage, there's a big link encouraging students to try out a virtual reality campus tour. Intrigued because he's never seen this offered by any other university, Jordan reaches for his VR headset next to him. Mass State has an online tour for students that gives him the ability to move around campus, explore buildings, look at photos. In other words, Jordan can visit Mass State through virtual reality. As it turns out, the Mass State admission staff has been busy at work using media capabilities and administrative tools now available in Drupal 8 Core to enrich the VR experience.
So basically, there is pretty large kind of video. If you like to go ahead and watch it fully, there will be a link. Basically, it's been built on Drupal. Here is an example of admin interface.
What you see here is a decoupled React VR app that uses Drupal 8 to power a virtual tour. The tour is built up of interconnected scenes, each with a 360-degree photo or video panorama that can be explored, as well as ambient sounds and hotspots that show images, videos, and textual information.
So basically, they have the Drupal admin interface, they have content types, they have different like fields. It's pretty simple. They upload images there, and on the front end, they just pull these images and try to make the virtual reality experience. So again, if you'd like to know more, there will be links available. So virtual reality and augmented reality, are they close or are they far from us? So it's even up to you to decide that, but I think that those are the markets where will be a lot of money today or tomorrow, and if we are talking about Drupal, it's already might be integrated with Drupal. So next thing is web personalization, right? I already mentioned that it's not the sequence of if, else, or different conditions. So all these things, machine learning, natural language understanding, AI, image recognition, it's a massive thing. Behind every technology, there is machine learning for sure. So you should know that. But web personalization is a pretty wide topic, right? Provide more predictable results, better search results. And today, I would like to talk a little bit about cognitive search and what is it. So in order to understand what is cognitive search, there is a great chart. Basically, we started in Drupal community and another community, we started from primitive keyword search, right? We just compared the keyword to index or database that we've had. Next level, it's semantic search. That's where we've had index like database, and we applied some basic natural language processing. Basically, you remember in views we've had these conditions. It starts with, it ends with, or something like that. So that was kind of early prototype of the natural language processing. Then we have contextual search, where we have indexing, NLP, and machine learning in order to analyze what's going on with the user, who it is, and different things. And cognitive search, that's the kind of highest thing right now in the search, where we track users' interaction, where we track users' like journey. Facebook tracks you, Google tracks you, all those things connected together. We apply machine learning, a lot of different things. But again, if we dig deeper, there are a lot of things. And in order to play with it, basically there is a service from lovely Microsoft Azure Cognitive Service. Basically, it provides you basic capabilities to build better search results, analyze them better, and again, it's powered by NLP and machine learning. That's the next big thing in the market. Speaking about Drupal, there is a module called Google Natural Language AutoTag, which you can install and plug into Google Natural Language Service that I mentioned earlier. This module will create text automatically for your content. Or another one, automatic alt text. So that's basically the, again, simple module that is connected to Microsoft Azure services that will do some machine learning and deep learning things for you. And whoever worked with Acquia, they have a product called AquiaLift. So behind that, they have so many technologies you can start learning from AquiaLift as well. So Next big thing, the voice assistants. I already mentioned a couple of times voice assistants, so that's our big thing right now. We are moving forward with the voice assistants. We have the giveaway with voice assistant, and I can speak a lot about voice assistants today. So, do you remember who it is? So that was prototype of assistant, just assistant. But then voice assistant steps in, right? So, and voice assistants might be huge life changers. I use voice assistants right now every day for turning on the lights, and I can control the robotic vacuums through Alexa. I can say, clean my house, and it will start. But voice assistants might be the big thing and might be a huge life changer. So, as example, you wake up, you have morning, you're preparing breakfast, you might drink the coffee and all those things. It's not fun, right? That's usual morning. But let's take a look at the morning of the guy who actually has the voice assistant.
Playing jazz.
Playing jazz.
Smoothie.
Making smoothie.
Calendar.
No meetings today. Remember, dentist at 9:30.
Fire off.
Fire off.
Open door.
Door open.
That's my usual morning. Kidding. It's my usual morning looks like that, but not that fancy, not in such big house. But anyway, smart speakers in comparison to the previous year, so the smart speaker owners has been increased by 40%. It means that the demand for voice assistants is pretty high. So if we take a look at the activities that most frequently people are doing with voice assistants, so we are listening to music, we are reading news, and we are checking out the TVs and movies. So basically we are speaking with our TVs. If we take a look at the use cases, basically most of the people ask questions. Then again, we look for streaming services for music, and we check the weather. So most of the people ever tried. You remember the first moment when Siri appeared or Google Assistant, we were playing and asking stupid questions just for fun. There were a lot of videos on YouTube just with asking dumb questions for voice assistants. So some of the people ever tried, some of the people using on monthly basis. I personally used some of these use cases on daily basis. So, and at some point at 5jars we thought, what if we can apply, so what the usual workflow for delivering content look like? We have laptops, PCs, smartwatches, a lot of different channels. And what if the voice assistant might be just alternative channel for delivering content, right? So it might be just alternative thing for delivering content. We still can use phones, smartphones, laptops, but we can also start using voice assistants. So on the market right now, we have devices from Amazon. We have Echo Dot, Echo, Echo Plus, Echo Auto, and application that might be installed on the smartphone. From Google, we have Home Mini, we have Home Max, Home, and again, application that might be installed. From Apple, we have pretty cheap HomePod, and we have Siri that's, again, on iOS devices. And from Microsoft, we don't have any devices, but we do have the Cortana, which again installed on latest Windows versions. And other devices, I mean, it's still on your smartphone. You don't need to purchase the smart speaker, but you do need to win it at our booth in order to play with the technology. So you can just install the application on your smartphone. So bad news, you cannot install the Siri on the Android, but believe me, you don't need Siri there. And at some point we were curious, what if we make information available through the voice assistants? And we basically build a prototype for one of our clients from Philadelphia. So let's take a look.
Alexa, open YMCA skill.
Welcome to the YMCA skill. You can locate the closest association, find basic information, and browse schedule. Which would you like to try?
Tell me more about YMCA of Greater Brandywine.
YMCA of Greater Brandywine is an association of 8 YMCAs that offer life-changing programs, and it has 8 branches.
Locate the closest YMCA branch.
Please let me know your index and I can locate the nearest YMCA branch.
My index is 19380.
The closest location is Westchester branch.
So basically, there is like more video. The video is a little bit longer, but basically there is a simple interaction between me and my Alexa, and basically skill that we've built for YMCA Creator Brandy 1. And it's just very simple example. We've spent for that approximately like 4 hours just to build that skill, because that's of static information. But we can interact with Drupal, we can interact with any APIs in order to provide better results and do all those things. So how to implement the skills for voice assistants, right? We can start with using Alexa module, which is available on Drupal.org. It's pretty, like, it's good for starting and exploring, but basically if you would like to go further, use JSON API and build your custom skills. So for Alexa, you can build a skill. For Google, you can build an action. Cortana, build a skill. Apple, you cannot build something for Siri, but you can build an application which may be integrated with shortcuts, and then shortcuts will provide an ability to play custom commands on iPhones, which is crazy way of, like, because of closed ecosystem. However, there is IFTTT service for all these devices. Basically, you can create custom commands there, integrate with your voice assistant, and you can even use Gmail, Slack, different services in order to have an interaction. Also, good news that there is already framework, so you can build only one application, one skill, and use it on 2 devices, on Alexa and Google. It's called Java Framework. It's open source. You can use it. And basically, it works like this. We build application, then we kind of compile it through the framework, and then deploy it to the device, which might be Alexa or Google Home. So going deeper, how the skill itself works, an action, and all those things. Basically, we have the skill, which is kind of application. Think about that as application, the Play Market or Apple Store. So that's the skill. Then we have Amazon Alexa, kind of operational system, and then we have the device. And we basically deploy application to operational system within that device. Same thing for Google Action, Google Assistant, Google Home. So how the voice application works itself. Basically, we have only 2 simple things. We have input and output, right? We ask the question, we get the results. Alexa something asks us, we provide an input. So 2 basic things, pretty straightforward. Going deeper, basically we have device, we have API, and we have code, right? So basic user interaction look like this. I ask a question. Let's say I say, Alexa, what's the weather today? Alexa gets your voice input and sends the voice input, the recording, to their API. Then API will do the natural language processing and voice processing in order to convert that to the text, the characters that then can be consumed by API. Then API do some analysis and return JSON to your application. So in application, you need to expect the JSON with different information. Then you do some things on the JSON and return that back to API, and API will return that back to the device. So just 3 steps. But behind that, basically, again, natural language understanding and machine learning and all those things, I mean, in the API of these services. If we take a look at the example, what exactly we can say to the voice assistants, we have the intent. Think about that as a function, right? We have functions in code, and when we and the another kind of thing in the voice assistants, that's the what user says, right? We can say, what's a great pizza place nearby? And within that sentence, we can have also variables, parameters, or entities. So they call it in different systems differently, but basically we have function, we say something, and within that function we just receive variables and what we just said. So, and again, it's just about input and output and what you have in your application. We can go further. I already mentioned that I use voice assistants, so I use them for controlling bulbs, but they may be used for security, for locking the doors, and you remember that example with our guy. They may be pretty helpful for the people with disabilities. Example, there are people who are completely blind, right? They cannot consume the web. They cannot consume the web experience and web content. Basically, they can interact with the voice assistant, and that's the really great example. So another great example, hospitals. In Los Angeles, they installed the Alexas in the hospitals, in the wards, and basically patients, they can interact with that device. I've had a surgery in January, and when you can barely move in order to turn on light and turn off light, or turn on TV and turn off TV, it's pretty painful to just stand out from your bed and do those things. With Alexa, you can say, Alexa, turn on the lights or turn off the lights. Another great example, hotels. So Marriott hotels, they are installing Alexa just for doing services within the hotels. St. Louis University, they created the Amazon skill in order to provide information within the campus. Let's take a look at the example.
Okay, make sure you get out there and do some of the stuff on campus.
I will. Hey. Alexa, ask Slew what's happening on campus tonight. Ask Slew who the Billikens are playing tonight. Ask Slew where the student center is. Alexa, call Mom. Is Quizify even a real word? Ask Slew when the library opens. Alexa.
Yes.
Ask Slew when student health opens.
So basically, that was an example, that cool promotion, right? Promotional, like commercial video. It doesn't work like this. So now commercials, they are creating it like it works perfectly, but when you say, Alexa, what's the weather today? She will respond, I don't understand you, and she does this pretty frequently. So it's not that cool, but for promotion, it looks good. So basically in that university, they created Alexa skill, which is called Slew, and that's just custom application. But remember that guy who was enjoying the smoothie? Jazz, all those things. Let's keep in mind that at some point something may have went wrong, and we shouldn't rely on the technologists, like we shouldn't rely on them always.
Play jazz.
Playing jazz.
Smoothie.
Making smoothie.
Calendar.
No meetings today. Remember, dentist at 9:30.
Fire off.
Fire off.
Open door.
Door open.
And we're gonna do one more.
Oh, yeah. Open door.
Wrong voice command.
Open door.
Wrong voice command.
Open. Open door.
Repeat that.
Open door.
I didn't understand that.
Hey, open door.
Play on the floor.
Get over the door. Open the door.
Wrong voice command. Error.
Hey there, with a rock. Open door. Open door. Higher.
Higher volume.
Higher.
Higher.
So at some point, something might completely go wrong with the technologies. So my final message for everyone, let's don't be afraid of those fancy technologies. I know there are a lot of rumors that like robots will take our jobs. Let's just go ahead and see where we will be landed with that. Let's start using new technologies right now. Just choose this simple use case and start working with it. Again, we're looking for developers where we have giveaway for Google Home Mini, and you might be like that guy enjoying smoothie and jazz in the morning. So Alex, Schedrov, for you, thank you for coming. If you will have any questions, I will be there on the booth. Fortunately, we have no time here for questions.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Alex, for your presentation. Now we all go to the hall, and there will be the photo session for everyone. Please join. And after that will be lunch.